Here's a shocking reality that millions of Americans are desperately trying to ignore. More than half of Social Security beneficiaries are just one missed payment away from financial catastrophe. A groundbreaking survey conducted by Nationwide Financial has revealed a disturbing truth that should send chills down every American's spine. Among the more than 1,800 adults surveyed across the nation, a staggering majority of Social Security recipients admitted they couldn't weather the storm of losing even 50% of their monthly benefits. Think about that for a moment. We're talking about people who have worked their entire lives, paid into the system faithfully, and now find themselves hanging by a financial thread. But here's where it gets controversial, and this is the part most politicians don't want you to know. The numbers paint an even grimmer picture when you dig deeper. A concerning 14% of recipients were absolutely certain they couldn't survive a missed payment, while another 30% expressed serious doubts about their ability to cope. That's nearly half of all respondents admitting they're living on the edge of financial disaster. Meanwhile, a whopping 74% of those surveyed confessed they're losing sleep over the possibility of Social Security benefits disappearing entirely during their lifetime. Even more alarming, an overwhelming 83% expressed deep anxiety about whether the Social Security Administration can maintain its operations long-term. And this is the part most people miss. The crisis isn't some distant threat lurking decades away. By 2034, we're looking at an automatic, across-the-board 19% reduction in Social Security benefits. Let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about seniors suddenly losing approximately $4,573 every single year from their already modest benefits. For millions of elderly Americans who are already struggling to afford basic necessities like medication, groceries, and housing, this cut could be the difference between dignity and destitution. The root cause of this impending disaster? It's actually pretty straightforward, though the solutions are anything but simple. America's population is aging rapidly, with baby boomers retiring in unprecedented numbers, while fewer young workers are entering the workforce to support them. This demographic shift means the Social Security Administration is facing a classic mathematical problem: more money going out than coming in. Without immediate intervention, the system can only guarantee about 80% of currently scheduled benefits. But here's where it gets really controversial. Young workers are getting hit from both sides of this crisis. According to research from the Cato Institute, today's younger generation faces a devastating double whammy. They'll either see their taxes increase significantly to prop up the system, or they'll receive reduced benefits when their turn comes, or quite possibly both. The financial impact? We're talking about roughly $110,000 in lost lifetime earnings per worker. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money that could mean the difference between a comfortable retirement and working until you die. Kevin Thompson, CEO of 9i Capital Group and host of the 9 Innings podcast, offers a somewhat more optimistic perspective, though his words come with a major caveat. Those individuals who depend entirely on their Social Security benefits to survive are absolutely the ones facing the greatest financial peril. Thompson explains, any reduction in payments would be financially devastating for them. However, Thompson believes cuts aren't inevitable, though he acknowledges the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to become insolvent around 2033 to 2034. Alex Beeney, a financial literacy instructor at the University of Tennessee at Martin, pulls no punches in his assessment of the situation. These survey results shouldn't surprise anyone who's been paying attention to America's retirement crisis. Beeney states bluntly, the typical 401k balance for most American workers falls drastically short of what financial experts recommend for retirement. And here's the kicker. Even those average numbers are misleading because they're inflated by high earners. The median savings are far, far lower. Beanie's bottom line? The harsh truth is that most Americans haven't saved nearly enough for their golden years, and without Social Security as a safety net, they simply wouldn't have a prayer of covering their basic monthly expenses. As we navigate an era of persistent inflation and economic uncertainty, the financial security of current and future retirees hangs precariously in the balance, entirely dependent on whether Social Security remains solvent. In today's economic climate, with inflationary pressures making everything more expensive and the future feeling increasingly uncertain, it's become nearly impossible for average Americans to save more money for retirement. Bean observes, their financial survival in retirement will be directly tied to whether Social Security can remain viable in the coming decades. So here's the million-dollar question that nobody in Washington wants to address head-on. Is it morally acceptable for a wealthy nation like America to allow millions of seniors who worked their entire lives to face financial ruin? Or should younger generations be forced to sacrifice their own financial futures to prop up a system that may not even exist when they need it? What do you think? Should we be asking current workers to pay even higher taxes to maintain full Social Security benefits? Or is it time to accept that the system needs fundamental restructuring, even if it means painful cuts? The clock is ticking, and every year Congress delays action makes the eventual solution more painful for everyone involved. Share your thoughts, because this isn't just a policy debate. It's about the financial survival of millions of Americans.